This video is not going to be an easy video to do, and it's probably not going to be an easy video for you guys to watch, but we need to talk about it. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press channel for Thursday, May 22nd. Again, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And now I'm about to ruin it because we're about to talk about medical assistance in dying for kids. And you might be saying, why the hell would you be talking about that, BP? Well, I was watching an Angrycops stream that he did last night, and he was going over some disturbing things out of Quebec, of course. And I just wanted to kind of, put some perspective on things as a Canadian, and talk about the laws and talk about what's going on with the MAID laws and exactly if children are allowed to seek MAID, and that, all that. I'm just basically going over and talking about what Rich was talking about without trying to be a dick and go, oh, well, actually, because that's not what I want to do. I just want to kind of sit and talk about it and put my own perspective on it, as a Canadian. So, medical assistance in dying is already a touchy subject for many people. I know that. But it is right now allowed for people over 18 who are terminally ill, who are suffering, and who are ready to die with dignity. It will be expanded to include mental health, and only, if you are only suffering from mental health issues, around 2027 is the deadline for that. Now, I did some looking through, there's a sick kids hospital, and I looked at, there is a Global News article back in 2023 that talked about a parliamentary committee that met and heard from over 150 people, and it was determined that age alone should not be a determining factor for or a determining criteria for MAID. So there was a committee that went to the House of Commons and presented their findings that said children should be allowed to seek medical assistance in dying if they are of a mature capacity and can make decisions. There is already precedent in Canada where children are allowed to decline medical treatment even if it hastens death. So I think they're kind of trying to expand on that type of field. I'm a parent, right? And I would not want to see my kids suffer if they were, terminally ill or any way, right? But I don't know if I could go as far as to say my kid had the capacity to decide whether they were able to die or ready to die. I really don't know. This is a completely new territory for a lot of people, I think. It was probably very difficult for that committee to convene and hear from those 150 people because they were probably family members of terminally ill children who had to watch their kids go through treatments that didn't work, that they probably knew wouldn't work, but they still tried anyway. And it was probably the most heartbreaking thing it was the most heartbreaking thing they've ever had to go through, and then they had to go testify at a parliamentary committee about it. And I really don't know what I think about this, because as an adult, my thoughts are clear. Like if you're, mentally with it and you have your faculties about you and you make the decision that you don't want to live anymore, that's on you. And when it comes to the mental health aspect, if you've tried and tried and tried and meds aren't working and counseling isn't working and like all these different things aren't, like EMDR's not working and whatever, and you want to go, isn't it better to have a date and time set up so that you have a chance to say goodbye to your family instead of your family just finding you? I But then when it comes to children, it's our job to protect them. It's our job to make decisions for them that they can't make. And I don't know where I sit on this. I really don't know where I sit on this, because is it ethical as a parent to make the decision on behalf of your child? Is that ethical? Is that or does that turn into murder? It's very tough. But I hate to say it though, but the way things were going in Angrycops' stream last night, it was sounding like MAID was already being offered to kids, and that's just not the case. You have to be 18, and that's the law. There are many things, there are many resources through the Canadian government for children to help them deal with the death of a family member through MAID, but I don't see anything on the government's website itself aimed at children or aimed at caregivers of children talking about MAID. The only thing I could see was that article from 2023 talking about a parliamentary committee that met and found that they believed that MAID should be extended to minors. But the committee hasn't done it, or the House of Commons hasn't moved forward on that. There's no, like, I haven't seen any sign that they will be moving forward on that in the near future. As it sits right now, MAID is not offered to children. Even if they are terminally ill and even if they are in hospice care, MAID is not offered to children at this time in Canada. And there doesn't seem to be a talking about making it that way. I will definitely address this again if that changes, but I just wanted to come on and just kind of give my thoughts about it, set the record straight, as it were, because I love watching Angrycops. He's funny, but this really bothered me, so I spent the day doing some looking, and this is what I found. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, buy me a coffee, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.